Previously on Jeep Roscoe. Into a lovely river excursion. And of course with the name Delilah, which literally means Wales. How could I not go there? So effectively I would have done the Nullarbor in 2 days. Quite famous. They really got some nice beaches. So welcome to this week's episode of Jeep Roscoe. Now, as you can probably tell, this is slightly different from normal. I'm afraid that I was wondering for quite a while what to do with this episode, as I have lost quite a lot of footage. We're up here at Hamelin Pool. This is at the very bottom of the Shark Bay Peninsula. And I had a whole, half an episode basically of footage worth of driving up to Shark Bay and staying at Hamelin Station Stay, which is run by Bush Heritage Australia. Sadly, I haven't got any of that to follow here, but this is my Insta360 1X footage here of walking around Hamelin Pool. As you may be able to see off in the distance, we can't get down to the beach itself at the moment because it is fenced off. Just walking around here, mind the beach itself is quite unique. Underneath the foot it's very kind of crunchy because it's made up of shells, very crunched up shells, but not as kind of fully formed as you'll find just up the road at Shell Beach, which I'll come to later on. But as you can see, beautiful day, windy but very nice. These high scattered clouds. We're going into a little bit of tiny planet mode here, as I like to play around with my new toys and the Insta360, which is incidentally like a 360 degrees camera. It's on an invisible selfie stick, as they call it. You can see the shadow of it there below me, but otherwise you can direct where the camera should go after you've filmed it. So it's very handy for just wandering around, and if you're filming by yourself, for example, it's very handy for reframing the photograph afterwards. But as you can see, this is Hamelin Pool here. Those dark the dark colours you can see in the waters just off the shore, these are the stromatolites, which like we saw down at Cervantes and further down in WA, are the oldest living fossils in the world. You know, these are the original things that evolved to produce oxygen, which then enabled the rest of life on the planet to form. As you can see there, the pier to get out is been damaged. There was a typhoon back here last year. Take some nice photos around the bay, but we couldn't actually get onto the pier to have a look at the stromatolites, hence why it's all cordoned off. Now, these are some photos I took from the station stay. I would highly recommend it as a place to stop and camp overnight. They've got some wonderful old shearing sheds, so you can have a little look around and take some artistic photos like I'm attempting to do here. They've also got like a nice pool and walking area where there's loads of species of birds that you can see, and I went for a walk around there as well. Here's some of the birds. The kitchen there is fully stocked. You don't need cutlery, plates or anything. I mean, it is like one of the best stocked kitchens I've ever seen. But then the next morning went to Shell Bay, which is here we are here. You can be able to see the close-up of the shells in a minute. After this, I travelled up to Denham, where I had one of the worst night sleeps ever because it was so windy. Okay, that was a very interesting night. Still think I got a wink of sleep. Incredibly, the tent is still in one piece, which is good. My alarm went off at 5 a.m. and the wind stopped. Bit funny how the wind just kind of stopped as soon as it knew I had to get up.
You gotta get the right angle, you gotta work it.
So on my drive up to Shark Bay, a few warning lights come on the dashboard of Delilah, and frankly no decent mechanics around, so I decided to book myself onto this four-wheel drive tour up to Cape Peron at the very top of Francois Peron National Park. Here, it's a little bit too windy, so I've decided to do this voiceover, but the guide was telling us about this marima, which we're standing on at the moment, which is essentially a clay bed. You can see these large divots and tracks that are being made into the bed here. This is where somebody tried to drive a brand new Land Rover Cruiser, Land Cruiser, Toyota Land Cruiser, through it and got stuck. Had to get somebody to tow him out, and long story short, ended up costing about 116,000. That was retrieval and to fix the Land Cruiser, brand new. So, well, some people learn the hard ways, I guess. But yeah, very beautiful national park. I'd highly recommend getting up and having a look around. It does cost on average about at least a minimum of $3,000 to get your car retrieved from the national park, which is why I didn't want to risk going up there in Delilah, given that there was so many warning lights coming on the dash. But yeah, you know, this tour was really good. We get to see quite a lot of the national park. Here we are at a really nice secluded bay where you can see they got mangroves around. The water was just absolutely beautiful. And then we went on to try some wild oysters, which were just in amongst the mangroves here. And as you'll see in a second, the guide showing us how to shuckle the oysters and just eat them raw straight off the beach if you wanted to. Not a delicacy that I'm particularly fond of, but a few people were willing to give it a go. But all in all, a great days out on this tour around Francois Peron National Park. We got to see mangroves like this. We got to go right up to the top of Cape Peron to see where the beach meets the Pindan, is what they call it. That's the really rich, iron-rich soil that you'll see a little bit later on, or that you saw on the road earlier. So at Cape Peron itself, which we'll come to shortly, you'll be able to see the beautiful turquoise seas meeting the yellow, beautiful golden beaches, and then the Pindan, which is this iron-rich soil. It's quite indicative of this part of the world. Little things you can see in the trees are nesting spiders. There's literally thousands of little spiders in there feeding on each other, and they'll continue to stay in there until they die or eat everything else, I guess. Every now and again a bird will come along and peck it open and then feast on all the little spiders inside. Once in a while one will come to the surface, spin a web and be drifted off by the wind. Fun times. This is Bottleneck Beach. We were going to go snorkeling here, but it's a bit too rough. So this is a very windy Cape Peron. You see the sand dunes off in the distance and the red cliffs, which is high and rich. Beach down there with some igneous rock going. Right here. You'll probably be able to make out on the video the delineations in the water. Those are where different tidal currents are meeting. One coming into the bay, one going out, etc. There were some dolphins here a second ago, but they were too far out to take decent photographs. This is the other side of Cape Peron. If you look closely, towards the apex of that corner there, you can see the water is actually red as well. That's because we have a lot of rainfall last night, which has washed the red soil into the sea. So that's Cape Peron, where we were earlier. And this is Skip Check Point that we could see from there. Well, just to cap off a brilliant day out, I come across my second Thorny Devil. This one on the Pindan, on the red soil. So I was very, very excited here. I got maybe a lot of footage, more than I needed, but this is just off my phone. In a second I get down on my stomach and I try filming it on my camera. So this is on a very long telephoto lens on my D850, perhaps a little bit too close than it needs to be, but I would rather get the whole body in camera. But as you can see, it's a bit shaky because I'm so far away and zoomed in so much. But this is what they do, the Thorny Devils, is if they think they're under threat or they think they're being seen, they just freeze. Now you can see his little leg just inching along because he's wondering if I've disappeared or not. But they will just stand like statues until they think the threat has passed, and then they will scurry off into the bushes. So I was here to get in plenty of footage on my belly, waiting for like the other people on the tour to kind of catch me up, but so I could point out to them the Thorny Devil, but nobody did. These are some photos then I got, very close-up photographs with my telephoto lens, so quite far away. But absolutely thrilled a bit, and you know, this was a really good kind of tour to do. I highly recommend it. I'll put the details below, and just a really great way to spend my birthday, really. So yeah, really enjoyed it, and I love the Thorny Devil, I really do. Morning. It's a very wet start to the day today. This is the third day on Shark Bay Peninsula, and 2 out of the 3 days has been like this, wet, showers, windy. So of course, yesterday, being my birthday, it was glorious sunshine, which was nice. And I went up to Cape Peron in Francois Peron National Park, which was really good. On a trip, I decided not to take Delilah because I had the check engine light warning, blah blah blah, and it just spooked me a little bit, kind of thing. Basically, to get towed back from anywhere in Francois Peron National Park is going to cost you about $3,000, so didn't want to run the risk. And every now and again, it's nice to have somebody else do the driving. So yeah, the tour was very good. It was a 4-wheel drive tour, run by a company that owns the aquarium down the road, where you can go and feed sharks and things. In case you wonder what I'm doing the washing up. I just had breakfast. Halfway through cooking breakfast, the heavens opened, and I had to retreat inside the car to eat my breakfast. Everything else is wet now, so I'm gonna need to clean everything up. So one of the downsides I've discovered to the rooftop tent is days such as today. So I wanted to get going this morning, go up to Monkey Maya, and watch the dolphin feeding. But you can't pack away the tent basically when it's wet, because it'll get moldy and stuff, even though it's only going to be put away for like a day before, well, not even a day, like 8 hours before I open it up again. But it's really, really wet at the moment, so checkout time is 10 o'clock in this caravan park, and it's currently like 8:30 or something, so I might end up staying here another day, just having a day to do video editing and whatnot. I've also got internet here, not Wi-Fi, just data, phone data, although I would have it in Carnarvon as well, which is where I'm going next, so still thinking about what to do basically. But the point being is that if it rains in the rooftop tent, then ideally you want to let the rooftop tent dry before you put it away. I might just put it away wet and then get it out again in Carnarvon, because we're heading north and rain should become a rarity. This is one of the driest places in Western Australia, and yet, quite a few days we've had rain. So. Yeah. So to do the washing up, I think I've showed you before, I'm not sure. I've got my expandable bucket, which is from King's, and instead of extending it all the way, I just extended like 3/4 and I use it as a bowl. You can get the individual bowls to do the same, but I figured, well, what's the point? Yeah, there we are. So far on this trip, I've used only half a bottle of fairy liquid, which is good. But let me just show you the state of things. So, very wet Delilah, and quite wet tent. Yeah, it's quite frustrating when it rains just before you're packing up. But there we are. There's not many people on this campsite in Denham at the moment. After the school holidays, they've just cleared out basically. Last night I had a few drinks with a couple that were just staying next to me. A lady from Scotland and the guy was from Perth. So we had a few birthday drinks. And yeah, so I'm going to give the fly sheet a bit of a shake and stuff, and see how we go in the next hour. But I might have to ask if I could have a late checkout or stay another day. I'm not sure yet. In terms of my route going forward with the engine light warning, I'm thinking basically I'm going to make a beeline for Karratha, which is the next biggest town. In the hope that they'll have a mechanic there who can have a look at the car, but also just been looking online and stuff, and one of the most frequent reasons this happens is because you need to change the spark plugs. I've also been using low octane fuel in the car just because it's cheap. Basically, I've been using 91, and ideally, apparently, I should be using 98. So it was recommended to me last night that at least every other time that I fill up on 98 instead of 91. But you know, there's an expense. There's an expense involved in that, because the 91 is like up here. It's $1.86 a litre, which is expensive, isn't enough. But the 98 is like $2.28. That's quite a jump. And of course you can't get the 98 octane fuel everywhere. A lot of places will only have the 91, so I guess what I should do is, whenever I've got the opportunity to use 98, I should use 98. Just to make sure the engine's getting the octaves it needs. That's what I was told. That means nothing to me. So yeah. Ideally, we'll get to Carnarvon today, but I don't know. Let's see how things go. So this morning we're leaving Denham. There's Denham down there. Beautiful place up here to watch sunset. I didn't get around to it, unfortunately. Beautiful. We're heading over to Monkey Maya, which is about 23 k's that way, over on the other side of the peninsula. We'll have to come back through Denham on the way back. At the moment I've got about half a tank of fuel left, and unless there's like a recognised big major fuel outlet in Monkey Mia, what I might do is I might drive back down to the main highway, where there's a outhouse, there's an Ampol, and I'm going to fill up with 98 octane just to see if that makes any difference at all. But just look at those views, it's fantastic. Keep on the eye out for emus on the way over to Monkey Maya this morning. I'll see if I can pick some up for you. Alright, so we've just entered Monkey Maya Reserve, so we're probably about a K out of Monkey Maya itself. If you're wondering why I keep saying Monkey Maya instead of Mia, it's because it's an Aboriginal word and it's pronounced Maya, which is a meeting place. Wow, just look at the ocean there, it's beautiful, isn't it? So Monkey Maya is not really a town, it's just a resort. I always thought it was like a town by itself, but it's just a resort. From the high end to the extreme budget end of accommodation, and of course the Dolphin Discovery Centre. Commercialized, but nice. No, how are you? Not too bad. I take it my parks pass doesn't count.
Not for Monkey Mire here.
Right.
Is it just yourself for the day?
It is?
Yeah, so it is $15.
Yeah.
The dolphin experiences have finished today.
I just wanted to look around a couple of photos and I'll be gone, to be honest.
It's actually so nice down there this morning. I've seen dolphins, pelicans, sharks, rays, a whole lot from the jetty.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just get you the pass.
Thanks. Just leaving Monkey Mire, and to be honest, I'm a little bit underwhelmed with it. I paid $15 to go in to basically go down to the beach. It's a very nice beach, granted, but you know, what are you paying for? Dolphin feedings had finished for the day. I wasn't really concerned about that. I didn't come to see dolphins being fed because essentially it's run by Parks and Wildlife, and most people who work for Parks and Wildlife in other parts of Australia will tell you that you shouldn't be doing what they're doing. It's a bit like in South Australia, we got Cleland Wildlife Park. And basically we used to have an inside joke about Cleland inside National Parks and Wildlife that, oh, Cleland's doing what all the other parks tell you not to do since, you know, 1970 or whatever it is. So, you know, I don't really care about coming to see dolphins being fed. I've seen enough dolphins in my lifetime in a while anyway. But paying $15 to kind of go in and, you know, pay more money to buy stuff from the shop or walk along the beach seems like a bit of a bloody rip-off to me. And I know the money all goes to care for the dolphins, but basically what I'm doing is I'm paying money to help National Parks and Wildlife feed wild dolphins, breaking the wild habits of the dolphins. So I'm actually paying them to disrupt wildlife. The resort is beautiful, like really nice, you know, and with hindsight I wish I had gone there for my birthday and just spent 3 days there just relaxing in a bit of high-end comfort basically, and just lounging by the beach, you know, because that's what it is. It's a beachside resort, and it's not as if the resort is run by National Parks and Wildlife. It's not, it's RAC, so you know, I don't see why I'm paying to supplement their income, basically, you know. So anyway, not overly impressed at all. On the road now, back to Denham. I might swing into Denham just to get some fuel. Let's see, what's the thing he's saying? The tank is saying we've got 128 kilometres till empty. And yeah, no, I'm going to need to get fuel because the Overland Roadhouse that I want to go to fill up is about 180 from here. So anyway, I'll fill up. I'll try and find a decent petrol station in Denham. And yeah, there we are. Heading for Carnarvon now. There's a couple of small little things I want to see on the way out of Shark Bay, like the 39th parallel, I think it is, or 59th or 69th, whatever it is. Anyway, there's a sign saying welcome to the far north. So I've literally passed 4 Thorny Devils on the side of the road this morning. 4. I can't quite believe it. I'm not going to stop anymore because I've seen 2 now in the last week, so I've had some really good photographs of them. This is Little Lagoon on the right hand side as we're coming back into Denham. It's a very nice, so basically underneath you've got a clay pan and a lake on top of it, called a Parima, I think it's called in Aborigine, and that one was an active one, i.e. it's still got water on it, it's still got life in it, whereas the ones we saw yesterday in Francois Peron National Park were inactive because they're dead, they're just clay pans now. But nice spot, but I'm not going to stop, it's just a lake. This is Eagle Lookout. There's a boardwalk that goes along the cliff line to give you sweeping views down and really clear seas. It's a really good place to spot marine life because it's so clear. Just heard somebody shout turtle down there, so there's probably a turtle. That dark spot down there might be a turtle as well, to be honest. Yeah, just lay-by stop on the road. Pull off, you come in. That's the track there from the road, maybe about 2 kilometres in. 1.5 kilometres maybe. They're just grading it at the moment, that's what the dust is for. That's looking back towards Denham. Little thing here about dugongs feeding on the seagrass found here, and the foundation they got to replant seagrass. You can see big swaths of seagrass out there, not so much near into the shore. A little bit about rising sea level throughout the years and the changing lands, etc. Geology. So yeah, beautiful. There's Delilah parked down there. There's another dirt track you can take out to the far point where you can see the white car right on the hill over there. And that's looking back down towards, well, we're on Shark Bay side, but the other side of the peninsula would be Hamelin Pools, but back towards the mainland basically. Over there you can see, I'm not sure what that is actually, because there's little bits of industry up there. You can see the big white cones up in the distance. I shall find out. Nice spot for fishing down there. We're just going to walk back to the car along the coast. I'm not going to. You can go that one. There's a shortcut back to the car park, but I'm going to go back along the coast in case we can see anything. Just stopped at a lookout. That's Shell Bay down there. That's the main road. We went to Shell Bay the other day when it was rather overcast. Today it's a beautiful day. It doesn't look as calm down there, but it's still quite calm. You can see now just how white the shells are at Shell Beach and the Azure Sea of this inlet. I can't remember the name of it. I shall look it up for you. Yeah, just thought I'd quickly stop to show you this as we head back to the main highway and the Outlander? Yeah, I think it's Outlander, Overlander Roadhouse. Okay, let's get to it. Next week on Jeep Roscoe. We're currently, yep. There's also up near me, just behind, there's a fruit loop you can do. Not making it up. They told me in the centre that very soon it's about to be taken over by the Canadians. Those massive spiders, they're known as orbs.